Yeah. So where is rest of the class? Busy watching match? Yeah. So in the previous lecture, we looked into all these aspects about software architecture, right? We added this software architecture in the firstly we read that okay, there isn't any introduction of architecture in the software development life cycle. Then we sought an easy way to come up with this architecture in the software development life cycle. Then we modified it and made it a very apt one for the overall development. Plus, as we said that we are in a position to look for the quality aspect, and then we looked into the importance of it. We saw some basic definitions, and then we have these variety of architectures. In today's class, we'll talk about some of these architectures. Right. So to start with, what we have is the first one is the solution architecture. Right. So when we are talking about solution architecture, in that case, yeah. So to start with, what we have is we have solution architecture. So when we use this particular term solution and the architecture, so this is basically the detailed and the most structured definition of the features, right? It is talking about the features, it is talking about the process, it is talking about the behavior, and this is in respect with the solution. So basically, it acts as a base of the solution to define or deliver or manage or to operate the overall development process for a defined solution, right? So I have a solution. I am going for a defined process for this particular solution. So basically, it is identifying some alternatives of the solution and obviously the various components of it, right? Various components of it, and it forms actually the basis of this offered solution. So what we are getting is we are getting something which is your basis or basic architecture to this particular offered solution. So in contemporary time, it is the practice like the solution architectures is providing you some basic idea about the to be built application. Right. So we get some basic idea about the to be built application. And this solution architecture is a widely used term and which says a description of a discrete and focused business operation or activity and how this IT supports that particular operation. So what we have is we get the challenges and I get the architecture for the available solutions which I have. And what I do is with the help of this architecture, I'm going to sketch it. I'm going to sketch it. So if I'm talking about this solution architecture, so let's first identify what basically this solution is. We'll take some example to give you a feel that okay, what basically is a solution and what is basically the architecture for this particular solution. So from the raw term, what this solution is like answer to some problem. Solution means answer to some problem, and this solution will be something which is measurable. Right, I'm providing some solution and it should be apt one. For that sake, this should be something which is measurable. And it will always have a defined limit. It will always have a defined limit. For example, let's say I have, let's say, a chatbot for a web portal. Right, I have a web portal as a product, and for it I have come up with a chatbot. Now this chatbot is solution, that means answer to some of the problems. And obviously for this, once again we look into the quality, right, quality of service, because here if I'm providing a chatbot for a particular web application, I'm definitely giving you a quality of service. Now this is something which is measurable, right? Up to what extent my chatbot can cater to the needs of the queries which are fired by my clients. Because there will be, see, there will be some limits, right? You go to any of these web portals, let's say MMT, or even you, if you're using the web application or you're using the mobile application, right? So in that case also what we have is, we see these days a chatbot which is like much more common. Now this chatbot will have certain limitations, because many times, even if you, let's say, take the example of Swiggy, because you might be using it in day-to-day basis. So these days you cannot directly get in touch with the customer care executive on phone, and it's not advisable, because the way these products have scaled up, it becomes practically impossible to deal everyone on phone. So what solution they have? They have come up with a chatbot. At the initial level, you will fire some queries, you are getting some responses. Right, so that kind of solution I have provided. So as I said, it has a defined limit as well. It is a solution which is something which is measurable. It has a limit. Up to some extent, your chatbot will respond, and then it gives you an option that whether the chatbot is able to resolve your query. You select yes or no. If you're selecting no, then further, manual intervention takes place, and then we go ahead with the actual interaction with human. So this happened because it had several certain defined limit. So this is about the solution architecture. So what we do is, we go ahead with examining the solution architecture. So what we try to do is, we try to examine it, we try to evaluate it, and that can be done based on the description of this particular solution. So basically, if you may say that, okay, what is out of it? Am I going to get something in a written format with certain definitions, certain explanations, So that too in plain Hindi or English language. So answer to this is no. A simple plain English cannot provide you a solution. And that too when we are talking about an architecture. Right, that too when we are talking about an architecture. And first of all, with this particular solution architecture, on one side, we are talking about the solution which we are going to provide to the end customer. And then obviously, this is something which is a solution to that particular problem of that client. On top of it, in a form of an architecture. So what will be the constituent of this solution architecture? We can have your UML diagrams. Right. You can have your ER diagrams. These things will act as solution for that particular problem. I hope these two terms are familiar to you guys, because I can see that UML diagram was, I guess, recently covered in your last semester in your software engineering course, UML UCAT. So recall those classes about UML UCAT diagrams. And if you're unable to recall, I'll share you some videos which I prepared for this course. Most probably I only taught this particular topic for you guys. And the next is your ER diagram. So entity relationship diagram, basically, if you can, move back to a couple of semesters back, where in your database management system course or IDBMS course, this ER diagram was taught, which was also giving you, this is something which is once again a kind of blueprint. It is something which is giving you some solution, that too in a form of a diagram. So this was all about your solution architecture. Now let's move to another architecture, which is your logical architecture. But yeah, before moving to logical architecture, any doubts in this particular topic of solution architecture? Any doubts in this? I'll take some questions and then I'll move further. Any doubts in this? Yeah, man, go ahead. I'll clarify those doubts. And then we'll move to the next topic. Okay, Mayank. Okay. So I misunderstood. So logical, let's start with logical architecture. And there is also something called as your physical architecture as well, right? So I am adding both these things. This physical architecture I am adding just for the sake of your knowledge. So basically, your physical architecture will be giving you some details to implement the architecture on a particular technology. So technological architecture, you can call it as. We'll also talk about technology architect. So for this can be like specification of software services or components. Whereas in case of your logical architecture, this is giving you much more details without constraining the architecture to a particular technology or environment. For example, I can have a diagram that would be illustrating the relationship between various software component. Right, so it's only the relationship between various software components. It can be like C1, C2, C3, C4, and some sort of relationship that depends, right? And I'm not going to detail of what basically C2 comprises of, what basically C3 comprises of, and what basically C4 comprises of. Right, so basically in case of logical one, I went for all these software components, and obviously, see, I may give you that, okay, this has certain technology or environment. This has certain technology or environment, right? Up to this extent, I can manage. Whereas in case of your physical architecture, I'll give enough details to implement it and deploy a particular solution. Right. So basically, the purpose of this physical architecture is for implementing and implementation and deploying solutions. Whereas in this logical architecture, we are planning and we are communicating architecture. Right, this is what it looks like. This is what it basically looks like. So, in fact, while I was teaching this particular part, just another example of a chatbot I got, I recalled your Facebook. If you're having a Facebook page, so you can maintain a chatbot, right, for automatic reply. You can engage your customers to get some request and responded accordingly. Similarly, in WhatsApp business also you can do the same, right? Even WhatsApp business allows you to have a third party definitely listed in their vendors list, who can come up with a solution where you can have a chatbot and you can interact with your clients. So another thing is, when we are talking about logical architecture, yeah, so because we added this something which is extra, let's talk about logical architecture. This logical architecture, once again I'm writing just because it should not get mixed up with your physical architecture details. So what we do is, in case of logical architecture, we have a structural design. I have a structural design. Once again, I would say do not get confused with architecture and design, because I'll also give you a detailed idea about the designs, architectural design. So these terms are used interchangeably, but don't get confused. So I have this logical architecture, which is nothing but the structural design, and the basic purpose of it is to provide a detailed description of the entire system without defining the system. Let me write it. Without defining the technology or environment. So basically it includes all the information related logically and the detailed description without any technical terms in it. Logical decomposition. We'll also talk about logical decomposition. I'll use this logical decomposition in your 4+1 view architecture. How many of you are familiar with this term 4+1 view architecture? Any idea about this? Any idea, any basic idea about this? No? Okay. Nice, nice. And then we'll have a very good discussion. We'll have entire 1.5 hour discussion on this 4+1 view architecture. So let me give you the example of this logical architecture. So what we can have is diagrammatically, what I can have is I can have a client tier or a client layer. I can have one access tier. I can have one presentation tier. I can have one business service tier if required. I can have another data tier. Mostly these days you'll find it. Right. So this is how we can have a logical architecture in place. So there will be various components of this logical architecture. I'll have the components of this logical architecture where I'll be going to use the presentation tier, right? This presentation tier in order to generate some requests, which will be, further I can transfer it to any of these ends. In the application tier, what we can have is I can be dealing with processing of this data. Right, I can have the data being processed at this particular application tier. Then obviously I can have this presentation tier on this side going for a response. Right, I can have a response. So if we carefully look into the components of a logical architecture diagram, what I'm going to have is I'm going to have a client. Right. So basically my client tier will consist of the applications that are used by the user in order to access the services. Then I'll have the access, this access tier. Right. In this case, the user is going to gain the access to the organization network from any possible location, right? These days, the way you are placed remotely in various locations. And then we have this third one is, which is your presentation tier. So this is going to provide access to use the system and then get some important information and then that would be based on fulfilling certain requirements based on some keys or anything else. Then what we have is next is your business services. So what we have here is this will be handling the back end of the system and will handle the mechanism that is used for presenting the result on the presentation layer. Right. So here the usage will be that at the back end the things are handled and then it is given to the presentation tier. And lastly, what we have is your data tier. So here, all sorts of storage will be there. That means the storage tier will be added, which is basically used for business service tier in order to store. Excuse me. Yeah, in order to store the persistent data. That means a data which is to be stored for a longer duration of time. So we have a persistent layer, a small persistent layer we add here, right? So the data stored, which can be further used by your presentation tier in order to present the result to the end user. So yeah, so this was all about your logical architecture. And basically, to conclude, what we have is we have a logical architecture as a diagram that can be used for designing the system, which will contain various components like this. What we have is client tier, access tier, presentation tier, business service tier, and data tier. And through this architecture, the detailed information can be collected about the system. And obviously, looking at this particular diagram, it is not transferring any technical details, but only the overall flow of the system. Now, next is your technology architecture. But before moving to that, I would like to address some questions on this logical architecture. So any particular question, any particular doubts in this logical architecture? Any doubts up till now? Any particular doubt? Any doubts in this? Okay, so now let's talk about technology architecture. Right, what we have is we have a technology architecture. So basically, your technology architecture associates the application component. So this basically associates the technology component from the application architecture. and this association will be with the technology components which are representing software and your hardware components. So basically what we are trying to do is, in your technology architecture, what I'm describing is the infrastructure required. Right, the infrastructure required in order to support the applications, the operations, and your reporting requirements. Right, so basically it is a framework for building an enterprise, including your networking, hardware, OS, database management system, and various standards. So these are integrated in order to come up with a technology architecture. So you will find several research papers on this technology architecture, and in last 10-20 years, lot amount of work has been done in this particular field. You'll find several book chapters as well, where good amount of modification is also done, and a lot amount of suggestions plus improvements have been made to this particular uh, technology architecture. So what we have is, if we're talking about technology architecture, so since we are going into the deployment details and all, so this time what we'll say that, okay, I have, let's say, I have a blade server, right, in which I have, let's say, 4 blades, and I'll have, let's say, RAM of size 2048. I have, the disk controllers, and then what we have is, I have, let's say, Red Hat Linux enterprise running on it with Apache server, and maybe Glassfish if you want to add. So basically, what we are trying to do is, we are giving a deployment diagram to show the environment plus the technology details, and that's what the actual purpose of this technology architecture is. A technology architecture or the information technology architecture, it's almost the same thing, right? So you don't get confused with this. Information architecture is separate thing. Right, information architecture is a separate thing. That is totally a separate thing. Now let's talk about that only. Let's take the information architecture only for the discussion. Yeah, but before going into details about the information architecture, let me uh, have some questions on this information on this technology architecture. So any points in this particular thing? Any doubts? Okay. Fine. So Now let's talk about information architecture. So this information architecture is nothing but the structural design of your shared information environments. Right, so that means the art and science of organizing and labeling the websites, internet, online communities, several softwares to support the usability. Right, so this deals with your information architecture. So basically, the designers play a lot amount of important role in this particular case. So what we do is, in case of information architecture, we are dealing with organizing. We are dealing with the structuring. So this organization and structuring is for the content. Content may be content of a website. It can be content for a web app. It can be content for a mobile app. It can be content for a social media software. Right, your Instagram and Tumblr and so on and so forth. Right, so, and basically there is a huge scope in this information architect, right, coming up with this information architecture. And these days, when we have this user-centered approach in your designs, which is trending a lot, so many of these designers, what they do is they learn the principles of information architecture in order to come up with some effective designs, in order to come up with some effective designs. So this information architecture is nothing but a skeleton of a design project. Previously in India, there was a trend that many of these startups were not spending a lot on design, right? UI, UX was not their focus. It was like, let's come up with some idea. But until and unless you are not providing a quality UI, UX, you are not going to get the users. I'll give you another, latest example of a very popular app, which is Cred. How many of you are familiar with this? Okay, sorry, Himani, I saw your question just now. So I'll address it. I'll address it. I have used this blade server term many times. I'll address it. Now, before that, how many of you are familiar with this term Cred? This particular app, Cred? Yeah, many of you, right? So basically, Cred app is for paying your credit card bills, and then we have like a facility of paying rents these days, and they are increasing their domains. And the Cred app is, I think, one of the most popular app with most attractive UI these days. If you are fond of reading blogs on these tech world related to apps and startups and all, so you'll find that okay, Cred has focused a lot on your UI UX, and that has given them a very good return. Second one is Swiggy. Swiggy pays a lot focus on the UI UX part. So your information architecture is something which is very crucial, right? It is something which is very crucial. Now, so let's take the Himani's question. So the blade servers are nothing but the regular servers, right? So normally what we have is it's basically architectural difference in the terms of manufacturing it. Instead of having, let's say, a rack kind of thing, I have blade kind of things. That means I have a blade enclosures. Previously, or the traditional servers are in a form of, racks. Here I have servers in a form of blades, so various blade slots are there, and that becomes your blade servers. And what it gives you is it helps you in, uh, saving a lot amount of money as far as cooling is concerned. So power consumption, it deals with power consumption, and then cooling is effective. That's why there is, architectural difference between a regular rack server and a regular blade server. We in our server room also we have very old, blade server was brought several years back, maybe 7-8 years back, or more than that. Yeah. So anyway, this was about information architecture. So where we said that, okay, we are focusing, and in India also, especially, this information architecture and the UX, that means your user experience, is gaining a lot amount of importance. But the point is whether this information architecture and your UI UX, interaction and user experience, are same thing or not. So basically these things are, you know relatable, and these terms relate to each other, but they are not actually the same, but definitely relatable. So in case of your information architecture, I have a blueprint of the design structure that can be generated into your wireframes or site maps of the project. Whereas in case of your user experience, UX designers, what they do is they come up with the basic materials so you can plan some navigation system and all. So what we are trying to do is, in case of UX, it is more about content structuring. It is more about content structuring. Right, it's more about content structuring, and in case of your information, it is more about information architecture. It is more about the structural design of the system. See, very lucrative. In fact, if you're talking about UI UX and all, these days, as I said, these companies like Swiggy, Cred, and all, you see the packages which they're offering to their UI UX designers. It's comparatively, equivalent or more than their actual developers. Right. So it's more than the actual developers. Yeah. So, anyways, next, any doubts in this, or else we'll move to the next architecture, which is your platform architecture. Next is your platform architecture, but before that, once again, I'll take a pause and I'll take some questions from you guys. Any doubts in this information architecture? Okay.